What are grid penalties in F1 racing? Have you ever wondered what happens when a driver does not start from the position they earned in qualifying? This is where grid penalties come into play in Formula One racing. Grid penalties are essentially sanctions that requiring a driver to start a race from a lower position on the starting grid than they qualified for. This can significantly impact their chances in a race. Grid penalties are most often handed out for technical reasons. For instance, if a driver exceeds the allowed number of power unit components or makes too many gearbox changes during a season, they will face penalties. Each driver is allowed a specific number of internal combustion engines, turbochargers, and energy stores. If they exceed these limits, they receive a grid place penalty. The first time a driver exceeds the allocation for any power unit element, they usually get a 10-place drop. If they exceed it again, the penalty typically becomes a 5-place drop. Now, if the total penalties add up to more than 15 grid places, the driver must start at the back of the grid, no matter where they qualified. This can be a tough blow, especially if a driver has performed well in qualifying. Grid penalties can also be imposed for other technical infringements or rule breaches. For minor component changes, drivers might receive a 5 or 10-place drop. However, for more serious changes or multiple penalties, they could find themselves starting from the very back of the grid. From the perspective of a race weekend, these penalties are applied after qualifying but before the race begins. The driver's official starting position is adjusted downward based on the penalty. If multiple drivers receive grid penalties, their adjusted positions are determined by their qualifying results and the severity of their penalties. These penalties can have a big impact on race strategy and the championship standings. Starting further back makes it more challenging to score points or win races. However, it is important to note that these penalties only affect the race immediately following the infraction. By the next race weekend, the penalty is considered served, and the driver will start according to their qualifying position unless they incur another penalty. In essence, grid penalties serve as a regulatory tool in Formula One to ensure technical compliance and fair competition. They help maintain the integrity of the sport by penalizing drivers who exceed component limits or commit certain infractions. This ensures that every race is competitive and fair for all participants.